This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, May the 3rd, is a sportscaster. You're thinking, why a sportscaster? But this guy is freaking iconic. He's 76 today. He's best known for his assignments for CBS Sports with the NFL and NCAA basketball. He's the older brother of Brian Gumbel. Yeah, that's right. Brian Gumbel. That's his brother Greg Gumbel. Greg became the first African-American announcer to call play-by-play of a major U.S. sports championship when he announced Super Bowl 35 in 2001. He does do play-by-play for the NFL and CBS, and is the studio host for the NCAA basketball tournament. So, man, at 76, he's a legend. He was born in New Orleans. And before he was a broadcaster, he had a Bachelor of Arts degree in English from Loras College in Iowa. Greg's brother Brian, who actually was working as a sportscaster for the NBC affiliate in Los Angeles, informed him that another NBC station, WMAC in Chicago, was auditioning for a sports announcer. And Greg was actually selling hospital supplies in Detroit. He got the job, went to Chicago, and worked for WMAC for 7 years. Ironically, the sportscaster he replaced, Dennis Swanson, became president of ABC Sports later on. Gumbel actually would work for MSG, ESPN, and WFAN Radio in New York City. ESPN, he would anchor Sports Center and did play-by-play for early NBA games on the network with a young Dick Vitale, because Dick Vitale just got fired from the Pistons and became an ESPN icon, baby. Anyway, on MSG, Gumbel would be the backup announcer for Marv Albert on Knicks broadcasts. When Marv Albert was doing other stuff, then he could do the Knicks games. He would provide college for college basketball too on MSG. When MSG got the contract to broadcast Yankee games in 1989, Gumbel served as host of the pregame and postgame shows, and would actually be the host of for a radio morning show for WFAN. But after WFAN took over from WNBC's 660 frequency, he got replaced by Don Imus, and we all know how that ended. Blank-headed blank. So anyway, CBS thought he could be good, so they decided to give him part-time work as an NFL announcer in 1988. In 1989, he got to be doing college basketball as well for CBS. He became the host of the NFL Today, which is the studio show before the games when CBS had him from 1990 to 1993. So basically, you know, he was the guy when CBS had the last few seasons doing the NFC games. He would anchor CBS's coverage of MLB, college football, and the Daytona 500 at times. So yeah, so Gumbel did baseball. So he didn't do too many memorable games for baseball. I remember a couple. When the Red Sox played the Yankees late in September 1993, a fan ran onto the field, causing a disturbance, and the Yankees went on to win that game. Greg Gumbel was actually the play-by-play guy for the ALCS in 93 with Jim Cott, replacing Dick Stockton for the ALCS. And Gumbel would be the guy who would call the Blue Jays when they won the ALCS in 93 in 6 games over the White Sox. He would do some play-by-play for the NBA alongside Quinn Buckner when CBS had the NBA until NBC took it in 1990. So anyway, he would be the primetime anchor for Olympic Games coverage from Lillehammer, 94, and co-anchor for the weekday morning broadcast of the 92 Winter Games in Auvergne, France, when CBS had the Olympics. I believe, the 98 Winter Games was the last time US never had full coverage of the Olympics, not named NBC. So anyway, CBS lost the NFL and MLB contracts and all that. So after that, CBS had to cut their losses, and Greg Gumbel left. But he left for NBC, who swiped MLB the MLB contracts alongside ABC to form the quote-unquote baseball network. NBC did have the NFL. They didn't swipe it from CBS. That was Fox swiping the NFC coverage from CBS. NBC still had football for a while until they lost it in 97. Gumbel would do play-by-play for the 95 NLDS and NLCS. I can't remember which series he did for the NLDS. I know the NLCS was Reds Braves and all that. I think it was the Rockies and Braves because if I remember correctly, Al Michaels called a grand slam for Chris Sable in the NLDS or something. I don't know. Oh no, wait, the baseball network, so they split down the pike. I don't know. But anyway, he would do some play-by-play for the NBA and NBC. I don't remember when he called. I think his call. Oh yeah, that's right. He was the play-by-play guy when Sean Elliott. No, was it when Sean Elliott tiptoed the sidelines and hit that 3-ball? I can't remember if that was him. But anyway, he was the studio host for the NFL and NBC when they had it. But Gumbel would leave NBC back to CBS after CBS got the Super Bowl and the NFL stuff back with the AFC stuff. He would be the studio host for college basketball for the NCAA tournament for CBS once he came back in 98. And that's a job he holds to this day. Gumbel would be the lead announcer for CBS's NFL coverage, pairing him with Phil Simms as color commentator. He was the lead announcer between 1998 and 2003, taking away the greatness of one Dick Enberg, who was paired up with, I think, who was it? It wasn't Olsen. Who's Dick Enberg? The guy, Dick Enberg was always with this guy. Oh, I would say Deerdorf. I think it was Deerdorf. Yeah, I think it was Deerdorf and Enberg. Anyway, Gumbel called Super Bowls 35 and 38, becoming the first African-American person to do so for a major sports event. But by 2004, Gumbel decided to be the studio host, with Jim Nantz coming into the lead announcer's spot and doing play-by-play. Because Jim Nantz was the host of NFL Today. Anyway, James Brown came from Fox to CBS and was the studio host of the NFL Today. Gumbel then went back to the broadcast booth as the number 2 play-by-play guy, basically replacing the great Dick Enberg and taking Dan Deerdorf. Because Deerdorf and Enberg were together. So Gumbel and Deerdorf did games. Oh. Gumbel would be part of the number 3 CBS team for pro football alongside Trent Green. All that. Gumbel would team up with Rich Gannon for games and then Adam Marcelletta. So anyway, Greg has a wife and a married daughter. Anyway. Gumbel has a major legacy. He's the 3rd man to be host and play-by-play for Super Bowls, with Dick Enberg and Al Michaels doing that too. Al Michaels was a studio host? I didn't know that. I know he's caught Super Bowls, but Al Michaels did that? I know Dick Enberg, I guess, as host. Well, I guess before. I think if I remember correctly, Dick Enberg did introductions in Super Bowl 13 and then threw it to the booth with Kirk Gowdy doing that. Anyway, yeah, he hosted Super Bowls 26, 30, and 32 in the studio before calling Super Bowls 35 and 38. Jim Nantz would actually do so, calling Super Bowl 41, being the 4th guy. During its tenure as chief anchor of the NFL Today, it was basically Gumbel, Marino, Shannon Sharp, that is, and Boomer Esiason. Basically, those 4 guys were the main guys in the studio, and they were memorable. So yeah, so he did a lot of things and all that. He still is part of the NFL on CBS. I know he's like the number 4 guy there, but it still doesn't freaking matter. I mean, he is who he really is. I mean, I know he's behind Jim Nantz, Ian Eagle, and Kevin Harlan on the depth chart, but what a time, what a group to be behind. I mean, CBS has the power struggle that is 4 great play-by-play announcers on the same network. Fight me. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.